Okies Eden this morning. I'm going to turn you around in a second. This is just a garden update. I want you to see what's happening. I have planted some things, harvested some things, and there's a bunch of stuff going on in the pumpkin patch. So let me flip you around here. So this is one of the parts of the pumpkin patch. This is, and the other pumpkin patch are really overtaking this part of the garden. It is early, but you can see these blooms, they start to open around sunrise, and I'm hoping for a nice sunrise this morning. Hopefully I can show that. But I'll back up here a little bit because the runners keep running. So this one here is probably 25 feet long. Crazy. So if you don't have a lot of room, you'll have to try maybe trellising the pumpkins, which I am working on because I'm testing a trellis system for pumpkins. But if you listen carefully, I don't know if it'll pick it up, but there are tons of bees in there. And then you can see over here, all of these blooms are starting to open up. And there are a bunch of baby pumpkins in there. This is the other part of the pumpkin patch. So there's 5 over there planted and 5 here. There are more of my Tabasco peppers. There's a pimento pepper plant there. What's funny is if you look at this big flower there, that goes to this plant over here. I had to babysit the other day, so I wasn't here for half the afternoon into the evening until late the next morning. In that span of time, that pumpkin plant grew from there, wrapped itself around my pepper plants, and continues to head towards the other plant. So I have to get in here and do some maintenance on these today. But as I show you, I'll turn this camera. You can see how extensive the plants get. So these plants here are taken up and still continuing. You can see they continue to run, and they have baby pumpkins on these in here. But these are taking up well over 200 square foot. And they continue to grow. They continue to grow. You can see these here. This is an asparagus plant that I allowed to fern. I did not harvest them this year. I will harvest them next year because I'm also going to be planting 20 more asparagus plants down this way. And then this will be sectioned off with a 4-foot fence as a trellis. And then this will have cucumbers and zucchini growing on it. And then on that side, it will be more asparagus because asparagus go for 20, 25 years. I'll just have to mulch and weed and just eat them as I want. But I wanted to make note, this one here is, I'm 6'3". This is now as tall as I am. That's how big asparagus plants can grow when you let them fern out. Because the first year you want them to take all of that energy from the sun and put it into the roots and build a strong root system. Let's swing over this way for a sec. So, did a video the other day. Hey, Callie, how you doing? I don't know, I don't think you're gonna be able to pick this up, but I planted 50 green beans through here. Probably half of them so far have sprouted. So that's really cool. So I'm gonna have a fall harvest on those green beans. Today or tomorrow by this other string, this has been tilled up, and I'm gonna hit it with the tiller again. And I'm planting baby red potatoes all down through here. Doing very well, Kelly, doing very well. Really happy with the garden, everything's coming along. Let me back up here for a second. This, I've tilled up the other day. This ground here is going to be a couple things. I'm building my an A-frame trellis here for my Black Beauty zucchini that was recommended by Misty's Pleasures of Life. I'll put that here. I'm doing a video on that. I also have some native Oklahoma red cedar that I'm going to be building a small table That's going to be here for working, and I'll put that into the ground. I'll put some mulch under it. That's where I can do my, if I have some plants to go in the ground, I can set them up there while I'm working. Tools, and whatever miscellaneous garden maintenance I'm doing, I can set everything on top of this table. I will not lose any square footage because all around the table it's going to be a trellis. So it's going to be probably a 2 by 3 foot bench. So I'll lose 6 square feet horizontally, but vertically I'm going to I'm going to put a 4-foot fence around 3 sides. So I'm going to gain, probably 26 square feet. So I'm actually going to net about 20 square feet. So I'll be able to do work here with a bench and also have a trellis of greens growing. And then what's going to happen is on this side here, I can grow items that need shade, that don't do well in full sun. That'll be for that. I'm going to be doing a video on my sugar pie pumpkins. There's the first 2 I planted. They're going very well. I'm going to have to run them this way because this here is being an annoyance. You can already see it's running. It's going to try to grab these. I got to stake this over this way, and then I'll have to run these this way. My cucumbers I planted from seed, they're running. Today I'm tying these up the trellis with yarn to get them to run up. And let me stop here for a second. This is just a quick, this one here and that one there is a temporary trellis because I'm planting. These are melons. These are just cantaloupes, and then 3 cantaloupes. What I'm going to do is center, if these all survive, center will run up the trellis. The 2 outers will run north and south. North and south. The same thing here. And here I have, I think they're either I think they're possibly the sugar pie pumpkins, I think. These will run up. I'm doing a trellis test. I want to see how pumpkins do on the trellis. So that's what that's for. I'm going to run each one up that way. Of course, my apple trees are still doing really well. June is doing well here, but fading over there. That sugar pie pumpkin failed to germinate. So that's okay. I'm not going to worry about it. This one here is doing well. So we're going to continue with that. And I do want to show you this. I did a video the other day, a couple of them, with that one that said it's beautiful. How can you say this isn't beautiful? Well, that's coming along very well. I was going to harvest this in a week or so, but I decided what's happening is I'm now I'm getting small pumpkins in here again. I got some baby pumpkins on this plant. I was going to actually cut this out, but now I'm just going to leave it because I have no idea what's going to happen. I still have some flowers, and I have flowers over there. So if they get pollinated by the bees, I'm not going to manually pollinate them because if this is ready to die out, I'm going to let nature take its course. Step over here for a minute. Getting ready to plant. I'm going to plant some zucchini there. I'm going to have those Black Beauty zucchini running this way and that way. Check this. This is the last batch of Connecticut fields I planted. So you can already see the flowers. Those flowers are about 4 inches in diameter. They're very big flowers. You can see the runners. So I'm going to come over here later. That one got attached to the fence. I'll detach that, and then I'll put my pallets over here and have to stake these to get them running the correct direction. But pretty soon, before you know it, this will all be green because it will fill, literally, it'll fill a 200 square foot section here. This will all be green. What's funny is, here is my sugar pie pumpkins. That is a pumpkin that should be a Connecticut field. I have to pull that out because underneath this mound is a bunch of compost from pumpkins. So I know it's germinated a bunch of the seeds. So those seeds have been popping. I've been pulling them because these are just going to be the sugar pie. Every mound in here, every mound, this mound, that mound, that mound, everywhere where I'm planting any kind of pumpkin or zucchini or something has all been composted. There's a lot of compost. So later on this year when I come through with my tiller and I till up this garden, it'll pick up all of that composted material and rotate it into the ground. All of these leaves, all of these stems will get rotated into the ground with my $75 tiller sitting over there. That runs like a champ. My seed starters for next year, these are not for harvest to eat or to store. These were just to get more seeds that can grow in the 105-degree weather, 100-degree weather here in southern Oklahoma. So you can see the runners, the vines, they're gonna grab the fence here. I'm gonna put them into the fence. They'll climb that fence, and then I'll let all of those die on the vine and brown up, dry. Then I'll collect the seeds. Same thing here. This is wonky because of all the rain we had. I planted these rows, and then as soon as I planted these rows, we got those thunderstorms and it just washed everything. But these here are just plain old bush beans. But again, these are just going to be harvested for seed. I will let these grow, die. I'll clip them, let them brown up, collect the seeds, and have really healthy seeds for next year. This here is radishes. They're bulbing, so I'll be able to hopefully collect those next week and then replant again. This here, you can see, is my a mound here. That is all, it's about a 10-foot mound of all compost in there. So again, when I come back through in the fall, this will all be composted. And this will all be moved around and pushed into the other dirt. Not sure I'm going to get any kind of a good sunrise today. But yeah, that's it. So from this vantage point, these are all going to be growing. This is going to go north-south. This will go up the trellis. This will be an A-frame trellis in here for my Black Beauty zucchini. And then I'm going to have a bench in here, a cedar bench that I'm making in the shop. And that will, in turn, have a trellis on it so I won't lose any square footage. Oh, guess what, people? Guess what, guess what, guess what? Here we go. Here we go. It is starting to sunrise. The sun is starting to peek over that house. We'll give this a minute or two. Not sure if you're listening or not real close, but you can hear the bees. But I was actually, while I'm waiting for the sun to come up, I'll give you a couple jokes. I was actually going to tell a couple of carrot jokes today. I was going to tell 2 carrot jokes at this live today, but that would be a pair. I was doing some video the other day and accidentally I videoed my feet. But I'm going to keep it because it's some pretty good footage. You know, I gave my handyman a list of tasks the other day. He did the 1st, 3rd, and 5th tasks. And I asked him, I said, man, what are you doing? Why did you only do the 1st, 3rd, and 5th? So he told me he only does odd jobs. Okay, so if you look, Sun's popping right there. I really hope that the internet is picking this up. I hope everybody's having a good Sunday. Today I have just some simple housekeeping style maintenance type things to do around the garden. So for me, it's going to be a little relaxing. So I'm just going to kind of hang out and get ready for the week. I got a bunch of videos I'm going to do tomorrow and get them released for the following week. Thank you for everybody that's following me. I appreciate it. I got some more cooking coming up. Got some more farm to table stuff coming up. I do have some more jalapenos, and I have my Tabasco pimento peppers. So I'm going to be doing a second iteration of cowboy candy this week. I'm going to try to come up with a different name for it because cowboy candy is typically jalapenos, but this is going to be much spicier because of the Tabasco peppers. And if one of my Carolina Reapers finally turns red, I'll be able to actually throw that in there hopefully, but we'll see. Okay, here she comes. Look at that. There it comes. If you can see, right there. Sun rising. It's another day. So one thing in life I do enjoy is a good sunrise, a good sunset. That's why I like to go to beaches. Not so much for the water and swimming, but it's hard to beat a really nice beach sunrise or sunset. But in my little corner of the world, a southern Oklahoma flatland, prairie land, sunrise and sunset's gonna have to do. But she's looking nice. That's looking really nice. As I'm standing here, there's probably 20 of the big bumblebees in here, and they're going from flower to flower to flower, pollinating for me. It's great. Look at that. To think I almost gave up on the sunrise. I didn't think it was gonna have a decent one this morning, but lo and behold, look at that. So with that, I'll end this here. I hope everybody has a great Sunday. Hope you get to spend time with your family and friends. Just relax and enjoy life. Get out and get dirty, play in your garden. Or if you have a garden on your balcony or porch or whatever, go do that. But enjoy your day, and we will see you in the next live.